Hi everyone, welcome to Tom's Man Shed. Now today's review is going to be on this thing behind me, which I'll be unboxing for you very, very shortly. It's a filament dryer. Now when you're 3D printing, all your filaments, and there's various ones as you'll know, PLA, PETG, Nylon, ABS and that. Some are more prone, like Nylon, than others to ingress of moisture. So if there's any moisture in the air, and there's always some moisture in the air, they can get damp and not liquid as such, not soggy or anything inside them, and that can affect the prints. So obviously you want to print with absolutely dry prints. Now, I've never had or had a need for, and I probably still don't, tell you the truth, a filament dryer. Because in here, in the shed, it's pretty dry. At the moment, the humidity in here is at 45 degrees, and I'm in it every day, summer and winter. So it's never damp. It's not like keeping my filaments in a garage or whatever. But until now, I've kept them in all the drawers behind me. Well, I've had to sort out because they take up so much room, and I've got so many filaments that they were taking up so much room in the drawers, but they were in airtight bags with DESICCANT, silicon desiccant inside. So each spool was really, really dry. But I've now got them all on a rack here behind me. I'll show you that in more detail at the end of this video when I'm showing you the dryer in detail. But here's a quick picture of it now. So you can see quite a lot of filaments are built up during the years. That's how I've got them now. So they're in the open air, which has freed up loads of space in the drawers for tools and all the junk. So I thought I'll get myself a filament dryer. It's another gadget in it, and I fancied getting one. Now, I had a look online, and I looked at loads and loads of reviews. I'll show you some of the ones on Amazon now. So you can see on here on Amazon, they go from this sort of like price, around about £30. That's down from 55 to 38. So they go from round about the £50 mark, and even lower for the single spool ones. Now, I did read a lot of reviews on these, not all of them obviously, but quite a few of the different ones. The Sunlu one, this one here, and I'll show you some of the dearer ones. You can see these slowly sort of going up from the 50s. As you can see, there are loads and loads of different makes available. So I've not read a review on every single one, but I've read quite a few. And they're getting right up to the price I paid, which was £105 for this one on review, including postage. And so far we haven't shown any twin spool ones, and even some of these single ones are like 105, 106. So you can see that's the sort of price range available. So like I say, I read a few reviews, and one make, Eibos or Eibos, E-I-B-O-S, seemed to be getting some pretty good reviews. It had all the sort of like right things. A lot don't have rollers, don't rotate the spool. Again, some of these might be gimmicks and not really needed, but if I'm sort of going to get anything, I usually sort of like get the one with all the features. Lots of them don't have a fan, so you can sort of like get uneven temperatures in there, or taking ages to get hot or whatever. Some don't have temperatures you can select, just preset ones. Some don't have selectable humidity. This seems to have loads of different outlets for the spool, on the top, on the back, on the front. Again, I won't be using it next to me Bamboo Lab Carbon X1C behind me, but it is there for future if I want to use it on one of my other printers. So this ticks all the boxes for feature rich. Now, it's only just come out, and it's not sort of on general sort of release at the moment. I'll show you Eibos's website. So this is Eibos, I don't know how to say Eibos or Eibos's website, and you can see it's on pre-order. It's showing £105, which is what I paid for it. it will normally be, when it goes on full sale, 122, and down here is in US. It's the recommended retail price is normally $140, and you don't get the 3 kilogram extension part or get it as an extra with this pre-order. It's like a kickstart, giving you a bit of a bonus if you're prepared to pay for it now. And although a lot of kickstarts you have to wait months and months for it, and this I didn't. So yeah, as a bonus you get that free extension kit, and it's a reduced price anyway. And like I say, I ordered it. It says here, I'm recording this on the 4th of February, and it says here EU shipping at the end of Feb. Well, when I ordered it in January, it said shipping in at the start of Feb. Well, it actually shipped before that. It was only 3 weeks from the 12th when I ordered it to about the 1st, 12th of Jan to the 1st of Feb when it arrived. So about 3 weeks. So not too bad at all. Not a very long wait at all. So here's some of the features of it from their website. Little video there.
Still worried about your filament getting damp and affecting your prints?
I won't play all that. You can watch it yourself. But it shows you the rollers there. And again, automatic humidity control. You can set it to go down to a certain humidity, and once it reaches that, maintain that humidity, which is a good feature. 2 desiccant drawers there. Vent on the top for keeping it as a storage box. And again, showing you all the bits. These are the bits. Parts lies. That's the first misprint I've seen. Should be LIST, obviously. Parts list. But the extension bit is extra, but you get it included in the Kickstarter version. So yeah, hopefully it'll screw together into something very nice. So there you see, it's like as I explained, it's on one of these like Kickstarter things. Now, they did say any orders, when I ordered it in January, it's now beginning of February, will be shipping late on January, and on the website now, and we're in the first week in February, it says shipping end of February. So there is a bit of a delay, but it wasn't too bad. I ordered it on the 12th of January, and it got here on, I think it was today's the 4th, about 4 days ago. So yeah, it took about 3 weeks to get here, which is what I was expecting. So doing this bit now, I've not even tried it or plugged it in or anything yet, so I'm doing this bit first, the unboxing, because I know quite a few of you like unboxings, and then I'll screw it all together. Give it probably a week or two's trial. Might even artificially introduce some moisture into one of my spools or whatever. Wait before and after. Do all the proper tests and show you the panel and what you can set and everything. But like I said, I'm doing this bit now before I've even tried it, just so I can do the unboxing. So this is the box that arrives. And like I say, it was about 3 weeks. So that is the extra. It says on the website, I might have mentioned it before, but on the Kickstarter ones, they are including a free extension kit to raise it up to enable you to get bigger spools in. Now, I don't have any of these big 2 kilogram spools or bigger or whatever, but if it's too high for the existing lid, you can raise it up with this kit. So just get it out of the box. So like I said, that's I would think is what you'd normally get, just this one box, and it's quite a nice, in fact a very nice box, good quality print on the front of it. So if you open that, it's one of them that opens like that, and inside a bit of foam. The instruction book, I'll show you that in a second. We've got a bit of PTFE tubing, an Allen key, a spare motor, and I believe the motors, they claim 1500 hours lifespan. Now that doesn't seem too much to me, but the amount of times I'll be using it, that'll last me a long, long time. And there's a spare one there. But yeah, bag of bits, lots of little screws. Again, I'll show you what all of them do once I've installed it, once I've put it together. Got your plug, obviously mine's a UK plug. You'll get yours whatever your country. And it's the sort of like figure of 8 type plug. That end. And that's the bottom of the unit. You've got your rollers. They are fixed in. So let's get it out of the box. So once the unit's out, you've got to assemble this. So it's a bit of a construction kit. That's the top. It's got the little air relief valve on the top. Openable, shuttable. More foam rubber. More acrylic side panels. And then in the bottom you've got your handle, and these are like the vertical channels that you slide the acrylic, the vertical side struts that you'll screw the acrylic down to, and they've got brass heat set inserts in them. That's either the base or the lid or whatever it will be. And the other bit. So yeah, very nicely packed. Loads of the usual foam. The unit. And that's the main unit. I'm assuming that's a cover. Looks like a peel off plastic cover, but it doesn't seem to be. Again, I'll show you what that is proper later. Plug it in the back, that's the info on the back of it. And in this, like I said, this is the extra extension pack. Got another two of these. And the little extension pieces, and very, very long screws, and a little tiny Phillips type screwdriver there. And your side bits. Again, this is covered in a protective plastic, it's dead clear under there, but look at it. So that's all the bits. Now I did read in another review that he said that these screws they provide, see the long screws in there, weren't long enough to actually screw through these bits, so he printed himself. Now the guy had much more skill than I have, because he designed these things himself and printed himself some shorter ones. So he did say though that he'd been in touch with them, and Eibos were going to make sure that the ones they sent out in later sets were the right size and it fits. So again, I will confirm that during construction. So that's all the bits. So at the moment, you know as much as I do about it. Like I said, I just thought you'd actually like to see what's in the box and how it's packed. So I'm going to screw it all together now. I'm not going to go through every stage of the assembly. Any tricky bits or things, points that I think need mentioning, I will put on. But it seems pretty straightforward. You'll just shove the acrylic side panels in here and the struts and screw it all together. Like I said, I've got standard heat set brass inserts in there. So I'll get it all screwed together, and like I said, I'll try it out for a week or so and go through any points you need to know, and I'll see you in 1 second for the full review. So I'll show you the fully assembled unit and the extension piece. You can see it behind me on the chair in a second. But first of all, I'll just go through the instruction book with you. And as usual, I'll hold it up to the screen. I'll take some screenshots and I'll put it together with a little talk over with about 3 seconds on each page. Gives you time to freeze the frame and have a read if you like to do that. So it's a very nice instruction book. I haven't noticed any, I haven't read every single word, but I haven't noticed any silly translations, and it's a quality item. It's like card. So like I say, quite a nice colour instruction book. All the usual specifications, parameters, the assembly instructions, or all the bits that you get with it, what all the numerals mean, the display, and the data sheet above for the various temperatures of each selection, PLA, ABS, PETG. Like I say, you can alter them. Some tips showing you where the outlet comes out, filament outlets, and the desiccant drawers, and the rubber bungs, some FAQs, and finish off with the usual website and contact details. So yeah, as you see there, quite a nice instruction book. Right, the unit itself, that's it. I showed you the back before, and the front, and yeah, it's not a cover, because as you see, and you'll see when I'm showing you it lit up and showing you what all the buttons do, it's sort of like quite scratch looking because it is a soft like acrylic sheet. I would have preferred that to, you know, you can see it. I would have preferred that to be a harder, clearer cover that you could then put a bit of like a screen protector on or whatever. But once it's lit up, as you'll see, you can't see the scratches, and the display underneath is very, very clear. So that's your unit. You've got the powered rollers at the end, and I'll show you how they go. Had a couple of little issues with that. I'll get into that later on when I'm describing them, how that works. So they are powered for when you want it to rotate the wheel. It's on like a cam. Again, I'm going to go into great detail on them. And you've got your front rollers, which are not powered at all. They're just like, they're all on full bearings at each side. Again, you'll see later. You've got 2 desiccant containers here. I'm not going to bother with that. I don't think it needs, with its heating element and everything. Can't see any, unless you're keeping it for permanent storage, which I won't be. But you've got 2 of them there that you can fill with your own beaded desiccant or whatever. It doesn't come with any desiccant, but that's that. And you've got your little hatch underneath to access the motor. Again, I'll be showing you that in detail there. But yeah, you can get your 4 rubber feet. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you the outlets. There's loads and loads of outlets to feed the filament out if you're using this attached to a printer. So I won't be, I can't on me Bamboo Lab X1C at the back, but I could on, where are you? There, on the Elegoo Neptune, I suppose. But if you are, you've got 3 here at the front. You've got 2 at the back, and you can put a PTFE tube in here to, it suggests, to make it smoother. You'll see that mentioned in the instructions. So they're your outlets. And the assembled cover is that. It all went together really, really smoothly. There was no complications. All the screws fit, everything was the right size. The handle, again, another review didn't like the fact that the handle was in two halves, but I can't see any problem with it at all. They screwed together really tight, and it just feels like a solid handle, so I can't see any problem there. You've got your rubber grommets for the outlet there. If you're keeping it as permanent storage and maybe using the desiccant, they give you little rubber bungs to totally shut them off. And you've got a vent there. You can see an open or shut vent there. They recommend while it is in use, you leave that open to let any vapour out, any steam. If you're using it as a permanent storage and you want it sort of quite airtight, close that off and cover the others with rubber bungs, and you've got a pretty moisture-proof container. So that's the main one there with the logo on the front. And I'll just put an almost empty reel so it's not too heavy for me in there. Oops. Bear with me. And that's just one reel in, so you can see that can take two. And you can see the clearance above, probably there on that shot. You've just got about, I'll say sort of 3/4 of an inch to an inch above. And the extension bit for 3 kilogram rolls, as I mentioned 2 kilogram I think before, of course it would be a 3 kilogram roll. That would be much taller. That is the included with this version, the sort of pre-normal sale version. They include this. Normally it would be an extra, and that just extends it up to give you that extra clearance. And again, I can confirm that all the screws that came with it, the longer screws in there, the 2 O-rings are extra drive bands for the rotating mechanism. Again, I'll show you in full detail. Little rubber bungs are in there as well. But yeah, then 4 long screws. You take the existing screws out of the bottom and you replace it. The Allen key screws, normally the short ones that are in at the moment, you take them out and you replace with these, and these have got like a Phillips head. So why they don't use the same, I don't know. But that goes on the bottom there to extend it up. So let's have a look at that. I filmed it earlier on. I've taken it off again because I'll never use it, but let's have a look at it on the unit. So that's the extension lead. That's the extension piece fitted on the bottom. The screws that they give you, like I say, I showed them you early on, but you can, well, don't need to hold them up like I say, I showed you earlier, but you can see they are Posi Drive or Phillips heads on them, and yet the ones you take out when you don't need this extension bit are hex 1.5mm Allen key or hex key ones. So why they don't stick to the same format I don't know, but that's your little extension piece. It's not something I don't think I'll ever be using. I've never bought a 2 kilogram or more roll. I just stick to 1 kilogram ones. But it's there should you need it, and it gives you, when it's in the unit, it gives you that extra headroom. I won't give you the exact measurements. Obviously, if you've got a roll, it will, one of the bigger diameter rolls, it will fit in there with that extension piece on. So I'll take it off now and store it somewhere, and probably never use it, but it is there. And like I say, you do get that with the startup version. I think it's an extra once it's fully on the market. Okay, so far so good. There is one problem that I have come across, and I'll be going into that in greater detail later on. But for now, we'll go through all the selectable items in the menu. So I've filmed it in close-up here on the desktop, going through how you would select it to dry PLA, PETG, ABS, nylon, whatever. All the different selectable parameters, like the speed that it heats up, the timer countdown, so on and so forth. So we'll go through, like I say, every single selectable item there. Now, when I did film it, I had my 3D printer going in the background. My microphone here that I use was further away because I was trying to do the demo in front of me. So the sound was not great. I've altered it as best I can with denoisers and things, but it's still not great. But you can at least hear what I'm saying. And let's have a look at that now. Okay, apologies for any background noise of the 3D printer printing. Hopefully you shouldn't hear it too badly. So obviously we'll start with turning it on, which is this switch here. And when we first turn it on, the selected filament comes up at the top there, and I'll go through what all these symbols mean first of all. So up here we've got it set on PLA. I'll show you how to select all these in a minute. This one here, SV50, this is the temperature that you've set it to get up to, so it's going to heat the unit up to 50 degrees to dry the PLA. This is a temperature at the moment, which is 42.6. That is within the unit, within the sensor of the unit, not the room temperature or anything, but the temperature inside the unit. Obviously I've not got the lid on at the moment while I'm showing you this. This is the relative humidity, again within the unit, 12% at the moment. This little propeller is the sort of like power setting, if you will. It's the heating level. There is 3 levels. The minimum one has the slowest rotation speed of this propeller. You can see it's rotating quite slowly. As you go up a level, when you're selecting it, it shows like 4 blades on it, 4 petals or whatever showing. And then the highest rotation speed, which is that 6 petals shown when you're selecting, is the highest level. It says it's recommended to use the lower level for temperatures below 50 degrees C and the highest level for temperatures above 60 degrees C. So they're all set up within the pre-settings, but we can alter them if we want. So first of all, I'll show you how you select the filament you want to dry. So once you've turned it on, you press this button here, and you'll see when I press it that the PLA starts flashing. While it's flashing, you can press these up or down arrows to scroll around the various filaments required. Pressing it one direction scrolls clockwise, pressing it the other direction scrolls anti-clockwise. Only while it's flashing can you select. If you wait too long, 2 or 3 seconds, it then locks on that, and then these 2 won't do anything. You've got to go back into the menu. So I'll show you that now. So if we click this middle one here, 3 bars, say PLA is flashing now. Start on this one. It's now scrolling round, as you can see, in a clockwise. Well, sort of like scrolls along the top, left to right, and then left to right along the bottom. If we do it the other way, it just scrolls from right to left. So we've got PLA, ABS, and you'll see all the parameters set in as we do it. PA by the way is nylon, PC polycarbonate, PETG, PETG, ASA, never tried ASA, it's similar to ABS, I must try it. PVA, that never use that, never will I don't think. It's soluble so you can use it for supports if you need be. TPU, the flexible rubbery type stuff. PP polypropylene, And then these ones, M1, M2 and M3, are your own memory settings. You can put any amount of parameters, whatever parameters you like in there, your own special settings. I forgot to say the one here at the bottom, the time, that is the amount of time it is on each one. It'll count down from that. So as you can see on PA, nylon, it's on for 12 hours, polycarbonate 8 hours, PETG only 2, ASA 4, PVA 4, TPU 4, 6 hours for polypropylene, and your 3 seconds. So we'll go back to PLA, and that's showing 4 hours. It will scroll back from 4 hours, and we're on the minimum heat settings. So I've let go now. We're on the PLA setting. As you see, these arrows are doing nothing now. You would have to go back into it, get it flashing before you can set it. So we'll leave it to show you the rotation speed. We'll leave it on the 2 propeller blades for PLA, and you can see once we let go and it goes, that's quite a slow rotation speed. If we go on to say a middle setting one, so there you can see that memory setting one. I'll do it on an actual one, so it would be, yeah, say PETG, there's 4. If I let go on that, you can now see that is spinning faster. That's like a medium heat setting. I'm not too sure when there's a preset temperature there, what, you know, when it gets up to that temperature it will cut out why low, medium and high matter too much, but that's what it recommends. And again, if we go on to the highest one, so scroll around to there, like polycarbonate would be the highest one, all 6 petals, you can see that's spinning really, really fast. Now if you wanted to change any of the built-in settings, you would press this, your cogwheel, your sort of like standard symbol for setting, and if we press that, each time we press it, it scrolls to a different selectable item, as you can see. So we could select temperature, and again you can select right down to the degree, the temperature you want it to heat up to, instead of it's programmed in 70. So I'll set that, say at 64, just to show I've changed it. Press it again and we are setting the power, so again you can set it to low, high, medium. We'll set that on low. Press it again. I waited a bit too long then, but press it again and you can set the timer in half-hour increments. Each time you press it, it goes down or it goes up. So as we get down, the lowest it will go, we keep pressing, is half an hour. It won't go below half an hour. The top one, as you go up, it goes right up to 12, 13, 14. It goes right up to 24 hours. Once you get to 24, one more press, that means it won't shut off at all. It's on permanently. Now it'd be nice if it scrolled back round to half an hour again, because if I get up to there and I want to just select 1 hour, it'd only mean 2 clicks. Duh, duh. But no, I've got to scroll all the way back down. Sorry. To get onto it. So you can see we're flashing now. As I'm going up, nothing's happening. But I've got to go all the way down. So I'll just go down to half an hour to show you. There, so that's the minimum it will go. And this button here is the rotation setting. So if you want the rollers to rotate the spools, you press that. And as you can probably see, the back roller, the little 360 symbol here has come on to show you going. And you can see it works off that like cam or egg thing. Every now and then you will see a bit of rotation. Should just be able to see it at the top there. And the rotation off. And one final thing, from this main screen, if we just press it once, we go into the relative humidity setting mode, and then to turn it off you've got to press it again. So it's not just one press to turn it off, it's two. I'll show you what I mean by that. If we go into this now, it's showing the relative humidity inside the unit. If I want to alter that, I click the settings arrow, and I can go up and I can scroll up from 70 right down to 10. So again, if I just wanted it to maintain a relative humidity within the enclosure of 70, I would do that. Once it stops flashing, it shows you the relative humidity at the moment in there. So it's already 13 now, so it wouldn't come on. If I set it at 10 in there, it would come on. So again, press the setting up and down, scroll down to 10, and once it stops flashing, it's at 13 in there now. If I just left it a while longer, that would start dropping down. It'd have the heater on until it dropped to 10. If you leave it like that, the unit is on all the time, maintaining that relative humidity that you've selected. And then to turn the unit totally off, you just turn it off. And there was one I forgot. So from the off setting, if you want to reset, if you've been messing around with setting any of the alterable parameters, if you press and hold the top button till everything flashes, it doesn't give a set time, 3 seconds, 5 seconds or whatever, so you just hold it in, keep it held in till everything starts flashing, and then when it stops, it's reset everything back to them preset parameters. Turn it off once, twice. So run through one more time, one very quick time. You can just skip this if you've fully understood. Turn it on, press the middle button, and it's in its preset settings. Press the middle button, scroll to the filament that you want to dry, ABS, and it's as simple as that. You would then press the rotation function on if you want the rollers to rotate, or off, and it's preset. If you want to change parameters while it's in that ABS setting, you would press this one here and scroll up and down to the one you want, press again to move over to the power, low, full or medium, press again and we scroll to the countdown time till it turns off, so that will be on for 2 hours, press again, and that's it, all three set. Rotation function on or off, and if we press once, it shows relative humidity. Press the cog for the level you want it of relative humidity you want it to maintain, say 40. Let go. That is the current level of humidity inside it. Press off again to turn off. So reasonably straightforward to go through all their menus. I think the buttons are laid out in a pretty good way. I'll go through at the very, very end in my conclusions, a couple of things I'd like to see that I alluded to there. But you saw briefly there the roller mechanism in action, and that is the only problem I've come across. Now, basically, there is a lot of slippage because the rollers are a very hard plastic, and the hard plastic against the hard plastic of your spool doesn't grip very well. Now, I'm going to have to make this video into two parts. I've filmed loads and loads of detail about rectifying the problem and videos of the spools in action and stopping and starting and so on, but it would go on an hour and a half or more. We're already up to sort of like probably 40 minutes by this stage. So I'm going to do the full solution and the full video of all the rotation and everything, and go into great detail as always in part 2. But before I do that, I'll show you what I mean. I'll just briefly show you how the mechanism works, and then I'll show you in close up here, and we'll go through the response from the company, some parts they sent me, fitting them parts, how to do all that and everything. So first of all, let's see how the roller mechanism that rotates the spools works. So if I try and hold it there, you can see the rollers rotating, and if you look at that rubber O-ring in the middle, that is on sort of like a cam. You can see there's a high bit as it comes round, and that makes contact with the roller above it, and that's why it rotates in like a jerky connection. And as I'll be showing you shortly, the mechanism is reasonably easy to take out. You can see a little split in that bracket where I tightened the screw a bit too much. I'll have to super glue that together. It doesn't really matter, it's still working, but you can see that as they roll round, intermittent, they've just changed direction. They change direction every 2 minutes. You can see one is going a bit more than the other. One stops rotating before the other. So there's one reel catches the other one up when you're timing it. But that is how the mechanism works. Strange way of doing it, but there you are. And the roller the other side is just a fixed one that's not driven at all. While this one is driving, as I'm putting my finger on it, it's quite powerful. It's I'm not. If I press totally down, I could stop it. But you have to press it with a fair force. So it's quite powerful. So, like I said, the only problem is the slippage on the rollers. What it is, that contact, hard plastic to hard plastic, doesn't grip very well. That's putting it simply. I'm going to bring this part to a close very, very soon because, like I said, I'll be going into great detail in part 2 on 2 solutions I've found, and it's working great now. I emailed Eibos. I filled in a form on their website, didn't get a reply to that, so I emailed them as a separate email. Got an instant reply saying, sorry, it's Chinese New Year, which I think lasts about 20 days or something. We'll get in touch after that. Sure enough, they did. As soon as it finished, they sent me a thing and they said, we're very sorry, I explained this slippage problem. And they sent me a box of a whole new bits, as you can see. Another new motor, 4 bearings, 2 new rollers, the whole roller mechanism, and the brackets to hold them. So in part 2, I'll be going into fitting that, telling you whether it solved the solution or not. Basically it didn't. The solution I came up with, which has solved the problem, like I said, I'll show you the full fitting of that, explaining in great detail how that cam drive works, We'll also show swapping the motor. We didn't need to swap the motor, but I'll show you that as well. Like I said, I filmed loads of video on the slippage happening with single rolls, dual rolls. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Like I say, I go into great detail about that and all the fitting of the parts and the solution. And I'll show you it in action, drying some stuff. At the moment, you can see in the background there, there it is in action at the moment. Drying some nylon, which I've had for 2 weeks in the garage, getting really damp. So I will show you all that working. And all that will be in part 2. So hopefully this has been of some use as an unboxing and how to assemble it and going through its functions. And like I say, catch me for part 2 to sort that problem out with the rollers and explain everything fully. So thanks for making it to the end of this. If it has been of some use, it'd be great if you could give me a thumbs up. I think this is my 200th video. So I'm not sure, it's 199 or 200 and 201, but I think it's about the 200th video. So thanks to all my existing subscribers for sticking with me and getting me to that sort of stage. That's absolutely great. So if you haven't subscribed and you'd like to, please click the little shed picture here on the left. And once you've done that, click the bell icon below and you'll be informed of any uploads as soon as I've done them. So I'll catch you very, very soon for part 2. See you then. Bye for now.